Hello, I'm Irina Baker, a spiritual awareness mentor, and today I'm going to discuss with you Harry Potter, how to turn a rich idea into wealth. I was reading Harry Potter books, couldn't stop reading them, and suddenly an idea came to my mind to write the article and to make a video out of it. And so it will be two parts. The first part today we're going to talk about, first of all, we will define what rich idea is, and we're going to authenticate that rich idea. And I will explain in a minute what that means. In America, from times of Morgan and Rockefeller and Vanderbilt and Carnegie, the virtue of hard work has been and also has been highly praised as sure path to success. And yet, why do so many Americans feel that they never have enough? Have you ever felt this way? Never have enough money to go around? And a lot of people are in debt. Are you in debt? And so perhaps you can identify with that because you work so hard. I am sure of it. Maybe you hold a job or you have a business and it's a lot of work. And maybe you have as the same way debt, but you work so hard, and then what? Have you reached everything? Have you reached your potential and made tons of money? You may or may not. So after having interviewed the nation's wealthiest people, as you know perfectly well, especially if you are an entrepreneur, I'm talking about Napoleon Hill, who was an author of famous Think and Grow Rich. So he said, and I'm quoting him, if you are one of those people who believes that hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought. It is not true. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never the result of hard work. Ideas are the beginning of all fortunes. So if you believe that only hard work will take you somewhere, look at your life and think again. Did it work in your life? And if it didn't, let's keep listening, because I'm going to talk about rich ideas. Let's focus on several spiritual principles that J.K. Rowling had to apply to her rich idea of Harry Potter and turned it into wealth. I'm sure she didn't even think about what would come out of it, but it happened, and you know, Harry Potter conquered the world as we know it. So I always suggest you to ask, because I'm all about practical application of everything I teach. You need to practice. And so ask yourself these questions while you're watching. How do these principles apply to my life? How do these principles apply to my life? The second question would be, have I ever received a rich idea? Just right now, if you're thinking, have you ever received a rich idea? Or maybe you don't know what it is right now, because I'm going to define rich idea in a minute. And another one, what have I done with my rich idea? What have I done with my rich idea? So let's talk about a rich idea, the definition of it. In my mind, the definition of it is a rich idea. It's an idea that is given to you by the divine. Whatever that trusted source is, God, the universe, gives you the idea. And this idea has a potential to bring in or turn itself into a great wealth, like in the case of J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter. Or at least this idea has a potential to ensure your great physical comfort, as you could make money. Maybe not too much, but you would be comfortable. So the idea will be richly rewarded at the end when you fulfill it. And this idea, I believe, is intended for you and you alone. Even though sometimes people in different parts of the earth receive similar ideas for some invention, it's true, it happened, but it's still the idea to do it came to this particular people as a unique idea. Maybe result was the same, but it was the unique idea specifically given to that particular person. And it's usually based on your ability to implement this idea into material world to benefit humankind. So this is a rich idea that comes to you from the divine, and it has the potential to be turned into wealth. And that's what happened with Harry Potter. And now let's authenticate the idea. What do you mean by authenticate? Like an email authentication, right? Authenticate in my mind is, how do you distinguish between the idea that came from the divine and it's truly genuinely rich idea, or it's the idea that your ego is trying to come up with because maybe the ego is scared or bored or whatever the case is, but it's not truly, the ego doesn't see the bigger picture like the divine does. So it's not a really good idea. So how to distinguish and how to make sure before you proceed with the idea, that's what we're going to learn or discuss in the part 2 next time. But today, what is how to authenticate the rich idea? And so the first thing is, the first principle, I guess, the idea comes from the divine, as I already told you, so it usually slips in quietly. It slips in quietly. When you expect it the least, when your mind is relaxed and in harmony, and you cannot fight, you cannot force, you cannot work hard for it, and you can make it happen when you wanted to. So let's say you got inspired and say, okay, I want a rich idea like J.K. Rowling got. Well, you can't command the divine, but you can ask for it, definitely, and you will receive it for sure, but you can't force it to happen. And it won't happen in your timing, so it will be divine timing for sure. And to complicate the matters, the ideas are usually, they sound crazy, they sound unachievable. Usually I call them the moving to the moon, because at that point you think that you can't even achieve that idea, so that idea is crazy and without a merit and you shouldn't do it and so forth. But that's the perception of the ego. If you got the idea from the divine, we will take over to go through the steps, and you will see that you will be able to accomplish it. So J.K. Rowling said about Harry Potter, and I'm quoting her, the idea simply fell into my head. So she didn't fight, she didn't struggle with it, she didn't work hard to get the idea. So don't take me wrong that I will say, yes, we do have to work to accomplish the idea, but that's later. But we do not work hard to receive the idea in the first place. The idea just happened or appeared out of the blue. Of course, that's a perception. It was from the divine, it was from the radiant substance, I call it, but that's another topic of conversation. And it was all supposed to happen. It was a divine plan. And so the second point, the second principle is, a rich idea is usually soft spoken and gentle. Soft spoken and gentle. And what do I mean by that? First of all, when you think about it, it makes you uplifted, it makes you happier, it makes you, it feels good. You could say, oh, it feels good. And it's so soft, it just there, it gives it reminds itself to you, because it's present, it wants to be heard. But that's another, already on this, in the second, in the part 2, we'll talk about the choice as well. So it is there, but it will be soft spoken. So nobody is going to create an earthquake for you. Nobody is going to create a huge banner saying your name on it and saying, this is your rich divine idea and you better get your butt off the couch and start doing it. Well, I wish it would happen, but it doesn't. So it will be soft spoken, gently nudging you, saying, okay, that would be nice to accomplish it. That would be great for you if you decide to do it. The next one, the third step, is it is persistent. It is persistent. And persistent means even for years. Some people have one idea that comes to them for years, and because they've been ignoring it all these years, the idea is still there, but nothing has happened. Why? Because, not why, but for example, I had a client who had an idea. The idea came to her, and it was truly a rich idea, as we found out later when we started working together. But at that time, she had no idea about it, no clue about her rich idea. And she decided to share her idea, which is our normal, normal response. So she decided to share it with few people, her close friends, and ask for their opinion. Whoa, big mistake. And about that, I will talk more, I will elaborate more about it later. But it's persistent. It will be there for, it sometimes could be years and years. And the next one is number 4. You have a talent. You have a talent. What that means is the idea is not out, it is out of the blue, but it's a specific idea, like I said before, designed specifically for you and you alone. And what that means is you have a talent and an aptitude to accomplish it. J.K. Rowling did not get the idea to become a ballerina. Maybe she was thinking about it at the end, when at the beginning of her life, when she was 5, when all the girls go to dance classes. But that's not what I mean. So she started writing stories already when she was 6 years old. So she was already preparing to accomplish later on for that idea, to accomplish that idea. So she had a talent, because if you do something and you do it well at that early age, it's usually a sign you got the aptitude, you got the talent, you are natural at it. That's why you want to do it, because if we do something wrong or something badly, we do not want to do it. We're not inclined to do it. So she had the talent to fulfill her task of writing Harry Potter sequence. And the idea was specifically designed for her, so she had all the necessary knowledge. Maybe, I'm sure she had channeled to the divine, because that Harry Potter is some big amazing thing that has been written. So it was a specific idea for J.K. Rowling to create Harry Potter world for the betterment of all of us. And she could fulfill her purpose because she had a talent. She came on earth with this talent. And number 5, it makes you alive, excited, enthusiastic. So, oh, by the way, I want to quote something, because I'm talking about the talent. And of course, we know J.K. Rowling really got the talent. So the quote is, J.K. Rowling is a real magician. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, I took it from that book, is rich and satisfying in almost every respect. Written by John Leonard, the New York Times book review. So when experts write such glowing testimonials, and there are many of them, and people are buying, millions are reading and enjoying this sequence, obviously there is a proof. A proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? That she's definitely talented, and I can attest to that myself. I agree with it. And so that's how the idea was specifically for her, and that's what she needed at that time to make it happen. Her talent, her abilities. And I am sure when she got the idea, she got excited or alive, something really, she had to like it, because I wish I wish I did an interview with her and ask her all these questions, how she felt and what ideas she got. But I only can say, of course, without talking to her. So I would say she was excited. And why I'm saying it? Because she needed enough, I call it soul juice, because she had that purpose and she needed to take it through the 7 year period, because she started writing her first Harry Potter book in 1990, and her first book was published in 1997. So that's a 7 year period. And if you're not excited about your idea, do you think you would persevere for 7 years if you don't like something? So she definitely had to like the idea, enjoy writing, and really believing. She had to believe in herself that the Harry Potter world will be accepted. And of course, as we know now, it has been accepted. And so what else? Now so these are the steps I was talking about, how to authenticate the rich idea. And now let's take these steps the same way so you can remember them, and we will apply them to your situation. Because again, I'm all about practical application of spiritual principles into your day-to-day life, so your life is better because you're using the spiritual laws and spiritual knowledge. And so the first question I would ask myself if I were you would be, have I received a rich idea? Have I received a rich idea? The second question, so you might want to ask right now, or you could do it later. You can see the article underneath the video and the questions are there. So the second one, how did it come to me? This is for authentication process, because we need to know the idea is genuinely really from the divine. And so how did it come to you? Was it a light bulb? Was it aha moment? Was it just quietly slipping in, like Harry Potter slipped in J.K. Rowling's head? So how did you get this idea? That's important, because it shows it's a sign that it's divine if it came quietly and like a light bulb. It felt good. So did it feel good? Did it resonate with you, even though it was scary? A lot of times we're excited about something, but at the same time we're scared. Fear is not any symptom or any sign that it's not the divine idea, because in fact, the more quantum leap you're going to make with your idea, the more fears will arise to keep you back, to hold you back. Okay, so the next one, the question I would ask, has the idea been persistent over time? Did you just get the idea? I would be interested to know if somebody just got the idea and is you are watching it right now. So that would be interesting. And also I would be interested to know if you watch this video or read the article, and then you would get the idea. So all these interesting moments. But for some people, it could be that they already got this idea a long time ago. I'll show it again. But it's been persistent, it's been there, but you haven't acknowledged it. So perhaps, maybe I will inspire you to acknowledge your idea and authenticate it. You know the example of Harry Potter, what happened when J.K. Rowling decided to act upon her idea. And then the next one, number 4, do I have a talent and aptitude? Do I have a talent? Does it come naturally to me? Yes, you might have to, for your idea, you might have to polish your talent. You might have to have education and so forth. But most likely you had been already getting education or getting the skills necessary to accomplish the upcoming idea. So the talent is important because that will be matched to the idea. J.K. Rowling can write well, has great imagination or connection to some different vibration or whatever the dimension, and she got the idea not to be a ballerina, but exactly the idea connected to her writing skills. So she got the talent and the idea is matching. So if you have a matching idea that matches your talent and aptitude, most likely that's a divine idea as well. And next one, do I still have a passion for it? If it's persistent over the years, or if it's new one, do I have a passion for it? Like I mentioned before, what if in 7 years, if you don't have passion for your idea and intend to accomplish it to the end, to see it through the end, well, J.K. Rowling could give up and not to go anywhere and not to publish. So do I still a passion? Do I still have a passion, or do I have a passion? And number 6, so is it a really genuine rich idea from the divine? Because a lot of times the idea is so scary that the ego will be doing all kinds of fits to hold you back. And so you need to ask yourself, after all these signs, after all these steps that I just told you about, and you check that yes, they do match, but if you still have that doubt, is it a true rich idea, just ask the divine. Ask the divine to confirm, because divine is constant communication, and if you are observant, then you will get the answer. If you're not, then come to me and I'll teach you. So there is always an answer. The divine always communicates with us. So it's only on us to receive the answer, to hear it. Okay, ask the divine to confirm. And now I think we got all the principles covered for now, how to authenticate the idea. I will encourage you to think about your rich idea. Have you had it? Have you maybe received it recently? Or perhaps ask for a rich idea in your life to have it too. And in the next, please watch part 2, because I'm going to talk about the specific steps how to take that idea, rich idea, and turn it into material, into the wealth. That's what J.K. Rowling exactly did. Maybe without even knowing, she just followed the steps that divine was guiding her. And so we will dissect that next time. And so now I would like to ask you these questions. Do you have money stress, and do you have money fears? Because we are talking about rich ideas and how to turn them into wealth, but perhaps you are right now in a situation when you do have money stress, because maybe you don't have enough clients, or maybe you don't have enough money, or whatever the case is. Do you ever feel it's never enough to go around, that always something that you want or need and there is no money for it? And maybe not enough clients, not enough of whatever you need. Maybe you need to pay off debts, or whatever it is with the money, money fears and debts. So if yes, the divine is, divine is full of rich ideas, but our goal is to receive the rich ideas, and that's another story already, right? So I got a gift for you. If you go to the Radiant Mastery Blueprint, no, I'm sorry, radiantmastery.com, radiantmastery.com, and click on the banner there, you will have an option to claim or register for the Radiant Mastery Blueprint. The blueprint, the map that shows step-by-step plan or step-by-step way to really get rid of money fears and that feeling that it's never enough. So it's like a map of showing you the path, what to do, what you need to have accomplished in order to let go of that feeling, constant feeling, and find financial freedom, true financial freedom. And I would encourage you to leave a positive comment, your aha moment, or results of your answering these questions, or any comment that you would like to share, as long as it's positive. Because if it's negative comment, if you don't have anything good to say, keep your peace. And that's a spiritual principle as we all have to should follow. All right, thank you. Until we meet again, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.